So slavery ended on paper in the United States after the Civil War, but slavery never ended. It has been rebranded though, much like a lot of the evil stuff, with new words and new names. We're taught in the United States as the history of the English language that there's Old English, Middle English, and New English. Language is often used to confuse and trick people. It's called doublespeak or double entendre. It can have multiple meanings, language. Sometimes across languages, there's similar words that mean the same thing. And then there's words that are totally different, or words that are manipulated and said improperly to insult people of other cultures. It's done very much by the slave master class. The people who feel that they should have royal privilege above all other people, which includes slavery still today. And in the United States, Washington, D.C. is the capital. Therefore, Washington, D.C. is the capital of corruption. Therefore, Washington, D.C. is the capital of slavery, since the United States is the only country, to my knowledge, that glorified, ratified on paper, then later fought a civil war for multiple reasons, including to end slavery. Slavery never ended, they just took it off the books. Today we like to call it human trafficking, and that's a real fucking fancy word for slavery. And I'm going to show you some of the people here in Washington, D.C. who are part of the low-end side of slavery. The people on the streets who are out here to snatch you up, snatch your parents up, and snatch your children up, your neighbors, and if they can, they'll own your communities. And if they can, they'll get the really pretty and cute ones and send them overseas where they're easily spotted in public, where there's a language barrier, and where the monsters in other countries who are just like the ones I'm going to show you in this video, who are involved, can spot you quickly in public and figure you out and get you back into that bondage and scare you and torture you, impregnate you, and then take your children and hold your children hostage and raise them up, giving you some privilege to either see them on video or in person, and getting you to do whatever they tell you as a slave, supposedly walking free among us in society. This is not a joke. This is real. And I risk my life, and I've done it for years now, to get to this point. And yeah, I am from Washington, D.C. And people get real dicey about, oh, you're from Reston, the suburbs. Well, that's people who like to try and shoot me down or hurt me or stop me or dissuade me or make me feel bad. And that's probably because they're involved, because Reston is one of the biggest hotspots for global manipulation I've ever heard of. And I grew up there starting in 1976. Now it's just your run-of-the-mill suburb. But when it started, they said it was something special. And this right here on the streets in D.C. is the result. And the communities in the United States, this is a result in a large part to slavery and in a large part to global manipulation, where wealthy people use these people on the streets out here to search for the golden gems, the diamonds in the rough, and then do what they want with them anywhere on the planet, using diplomatic immunity, jet set transportation, and credentials that mean they can kind of do whatever they want. But guess what? I represent the people who care for family and community, and our first law is love. And for the love of God, I do what I do. Now watch these people as I describe what I describe to educate you and open your eyes, whether you choose to believe or not. That's your choice. And if you come at me with the wrong way, in public, in my life, or around people I know, you'll get a mouthful. And if you get too close, you might get more than a mouthful of words. Yeah, I bit my tongue earlier today. I was so hungry and I got a piece of food and I ate it. It hurt so bad and there was a lot of blood. And we in the hardcore community have a saying. It's a band. It's called Blood for Blood. And it's so that very few people can be dismantled and destroyed so that the other many billions of us can actually have good families, good communities, love, and live a life that's not subject to change at any moment and rebranded at any moment with stupid words to confuse people, false education in schools, and doctors that ruin the lives of as many people as they can. And not all doctors, no. And no, I don't want a master's degree, and I definitely don't want a PhD, and I'm not fat with a PH. I was called fat skinny the other day. Man, you fat and skinny. I was like, haha, thanks a lot. And then I got my ticket from the man and went inside to eat at the homeless breakfast, where this morning at Miriam's kitchen, a man named Paulie threatened me, threw coffee on me, all over me, and then said he had the iron fist, let's go. I stood up, sat in the chair next to him, just enough distance that he couldn't punch me from sitting down, and stared at him. He screamed at me. Finally, security asked him to move to another table. A man came over with a mop and started to clean up. I apologized, said I would clean it up, and I took the mop, and then I got a rag from staff and cleaned it up. And hey, Paulie, you said you've been here in the city 30 years, this is your city. You look like you're about 60 years old though, Paulie. I'm 51 years old, and I've been coming to this city since I was about 14 for stuff, so I guess it's more my city than it is yours. And I know it's a chocolate city. I ain't no white boy. I'm white chocolate. Check this out. It's a great video. This might fuck up your mind, and it might make some people angry. And like I said, come see me. I enjoy it. You might get to meet my friend Zoki or my friend George. Dig it. So today's Juneteenth in Washington, D.C., United States of America. It's to signify the end of slavery on paper in the United States. I believe 1865, June 19th. However, slavery is still alive and well. It's just not on paper and legal in the United States. It's global now. And I'm going to show you a few of the low-end, low-rent practitioners out here on the streets in this video. And people say, how do you know? Well, there's two answers. One is from Bradley, who said, and I know because of KRS-One, ooh, and I know. And then there's Bob, who says, how I know, how I know, how I know reggae music. So I was just told that I'm not homeless. I just live in a house with no walls. I've heard the term church with no walls, and guess what? Now, welcome to the school with no walls. How I know, how I know reggae music. You got that chant down Babylon. Here, check it out.